Hi, this is a game called Koihime Enbu. It came out a few weeks ago, and I enjoyed it a lot. It looks like an anime game, but it's really more of a footsie type of game. I'll try and explain it real fast because this game, generally I tell people, you can explain it in 5 minutes. Let's see how well you can do this in a video. So, first of all, your walk speed is very fast. You also have a run, which is pretty fast. And then you have a jump, but you only have like one jump, and generally no other air options except maybe a special, but they are unsafe. You have a backdash too. It tends to go kind of far. One of the defining features about this game is that almost every attack except the jump in is going to be negative on block and plus on hit. So I'll just set the dummy to pressing a button. Training mode is very nice. So, for example, I'll do this, and then I'll do this. If I try to press the button, I get hit. Specials in this game do exist, and not every normal is special cancelable. Only certain of them. So, like this 5B is usually not. 2B usually is. There are some exceptions. But as you can see, it's not that great. Specials are even unsafe if you do them too close, like this. 5B, I just tried to blow after, or this. B, right? This move is unsafe. And it's not a spacing thing, like this move is unsafe. Fireball, however, is going to be safe at far range. So, in general, like, you press buttons, it's my turn, it's your turn. It kind of creates one of like a turn-based type of game, but you do have options to disrespect. So, for example, you can use like EX moves to be invincible. And that said, spacing is also important. It's not just like my turn, your turn, because it's very easy to whiff punish in this game because normals have so much recovery. So I'll just show you guys real quick. And as you can see, it even did a bit more damage because it was a counter hit, which recovery is like that. So back to the my turn, your turn kind of thing. When it's your turn, you can take advantage of it more than just pressing a button or baiting, because baiting is these moves are unsafe on block. You can try and maybe go in for like some mix-up or like a throw maybe. Yes, right. And so when you dash in like that, of course the other person has enough time to press a button to stuff you as you dash in. So let me just explain when you're in there. So your 5As and 2As are generally barely minus on block. So if I was to do like 5B after, I get counter hit. However, you can delay chain them to create frame traps that you can't always convert to damage. It depends on your meter, your spacing, everything. So you kind of just vary your timing on 2A, 5A, 2A, and generally open up people like that. The throw in this game is one button, so there's no like option select into barrier or into like other stuff like in BlazBlue, and so it kind of forces the person to press a button if they want to take their throw. The window is kind of big though, and throws themselves are pretty slow, so they're pretty easy to stuff with like a mash. And if your throw gets broken, the person that breaks the throw is at +4, so let me just set that up. Hit, not counter hit, break the throw. Right? So, getting your throw broken is kind of like, you lose your turn. It's the other guy's turn now, it's not even. And then you also have your standing overhead, which is going to be 0 on hit. And it's going to be actually unsafe on block, like -12. Like, so it doesn't matter. You're gonna get punished if you do it. They're kind of slow. The speed is okay. Then you have the mix-up around the throw, which is the throws don't have like a lot of range. So you want to try and bait the person into throwing, and then you walk out of their range, and then you do like a throw invincible move or that kind of thing, or a move that doesn't extend your throwable hurt box. So let me just set it up real quick. So the person will block, and then they will try and throw. So I'll do this. So throw gets broken, or you do this, and then boom. And this state kind of leads to a big counter hit combo. This move, however, is unsafe on block, and as is the overhead. So it's a mix-up, but I mean, you can escape it by doing something like an invincible move, a backdash, or even like a jump back, right? Let me just set that up real quick. So a lot of new players kind of tend to get blown up by this, and then you see you might probably get punished there. But it's really just you have to try and avoid the situation in the first place, and then once you're there, don't forget that you have other options. That said, you can also late tech the throw to avoid the mix-up, because the throw tech window is pretty big. But then you can delay the throw movement, whatever. Just play around that. The throw and move, but like I said, it's more of a range thing. If you just do it, you will get thrown. Oops. So. That said, sometimes you want to maybe back off instead, right? You can just backdash out of the situation, and backdashing they're pretty good in this game. But the problem is that they also go pretty far, and that means that if you backdash too often, you will end up in the corner after like 3 backdashes. And just show it the other way, right? So. It's there, but if you backdash too many times or just lose too much space at neutral, you tend to lose options on the defense, which makes the neutral game more interesting, because it adds an extra value to that. So there's also projectiles in the game, right? It's not only normals. Not most. About half the characters have a fireball, but they're not all great. Some characters have like better fireballs than others. But the fireballs themselves aren't that much of a threat because, like I said earlier, they're very negative on block, and they don't do a lot of damage. They do good, decent damage on hit, but on block, there's like nothing, right? I'll just like this. So 50 damage on block, 900 damage on hit, right? That's tiny. In Street Fighter, it's a lot closer to like close to a quarter of the damage on block, whereas this it's like not even 5%, or a bit more than 5%. So then, of course, there's jumps, right? If you know that the guy's going to throw out a fireball, you can jump over it. But jumping in this game is kind of risky because, like I said, you don't have that many air options. Some characters do have something to like bait anti-airs, but they're generally unsafe. And the anti-airs in this game are quite good. If the person just jumps, you're going to get anti-aired. There's no air block. And then, of course, if you press up, if you just advice for a beginner or anyone in general, if you jump and you're trying to jump over something and they don't press a button, do not press a button, because if you get counter hit anti-aired by certain moves, you will lose a lot of health, because it leads to the special crumple state that gives big combos. And so I'll talk about meter now. Meter is very nice in this game. First of all, first hit of each round gives you 1 free bar of meter. And in terms of meter, generally things cost like either 1 bar, 3 or 4. So 1 bar is EX. So EX moves, they're generally invincible, and they're generally unsafe on block. But they're really good for like if you see someone do a fireball, can I do this? It's gonna be hard. You can just EX through the fireball. You can EX as a reversal, or EX to disrespect someone's turn. Some EX moves have like these weird properties. Like for example, this character has this move that puts her in the air, and she has a normal version as well. But the EX version is invincible on startup, so it lets you like escape the corner or that kind of thing. EX moves also let you confirm hits that you couldn't like otherwise confirm, or just give you better combos, give you knockdowns in general. For example, this does not knock down, so it creates kind of like an ambiguous situation after where the person that did the combo is slightly plus. Instead, you can just go for EX and then get a knockdown, get a safe jump, or I did wrong, whatever. and it also gives you like way more corner carry. Like this or right, and then you just run with them and do something. So like I said, EXs, however, are almost always unsafe. Then there are assists, and so assists. The general rule is that you have startup, right? They're actually called strategists, but whatever. So yeah, you have startup, and they are plus. Generally, well, no, they're pretty much always plus. So they lead to combos on hit if you hit them. On block, you can like dash in and just set it to block. Oops, on controller. Yeah, so like, right, you just dash in and you're plus, and you can call out projectiles with these pretty well. There's a few of them, like some of them have more range than others, some of them are faster than others. They have varying uses. Each faction can only use 2 different assists. I'll get into that later. And then you have supers. And supers are the normal input is quarter circle forward, half circle back. But there is a shortcut. This one is pretty strict. But yeah, there's a shortcut where you just do down back, down forward, down back. And so these supers on block, they lead to this weird guard crush state where the person that did it is plus I think 4 or something after. But on hit, they lead to a good chunk of damage, usually around like 4,000. You have like about 10,000 health, I think. And these assists, these supers, I mean, tend to go forward a lot or hide. Depends on the characters. But yeah, like you can use them to disrespect safely, or steal turns, or just you can kind of use them a bit as a panic button. Like let's say you're at a life deficit, the guy's pressuring you into the corner. You can use the extended invincibility to beat an EX move that would chip you out normally, and just like make an upset with that, because it gives you a knockdown. Some of them have other properties too. And then you have your big 4-bar super that you can only use in the crumple state. So I'll just set the dummy to getting hit by a counter hit, and they have the whole like animation, and they do like a ton of damage. You generally try and place them at the end of your really big combos to get as much from it as you can. Okay, now that kind of does it for the basics. So that's pretty much how the game's played. I mean, in general, when you start, things happen a bit differently. Let's say people jump a bit more, or do like unsafe things a bit more until people like learn the correct punishes. But that doesn't take very long. And what's pretty interesting is that the frame data is very similar from like one character to the other. So you kind of know how to punish what, and you get a feel for the game pretty fast like that. So I'll just do an overview of each character quickly, just so that you know kind of like the tools that can change matchups, or maybe find a character that interests you more than others. So first character I will do, and I'm sorry ahead of time for the Chinese names that I can't pronounce right, so I'll say both the Japanese and Chinese names, because if you don't know, these characters are based off of the Romance Three Kingdoms, which you might know of through Dynasty Warriors. And they have their own Japanese Koihime game, whatever that is important. So first of all, the main girl, Kanu, or Guanyu, which is like, your very standard character. Her normals are okay. Her specials are actually pretty strong for each type of special. For example, she has fireballs, like 3 types. They go either fast or slow, and they go full screen. Then you have like EX Fireball, which is also invincible and will break fireballs and knock down. You have a DP, which is like a reliable anti-air. It lets her like combo from like further away on her 2As. Then some characters just can't combo off 2A like that. And yeah, her 5C and 2C are kind of slow, but they kind of make up for that range that she doesn't have with her 5B and 2B. And yeah, she has this other move that is a high, and I guess you could use it to go over projectiles on reaction at certain timings. But yeah, pretty much standard character, okay to learn the game with. And then we have, next character is, what's her name? Chohi or Zhang Fei. She's I guess the grappler, basic grappler of this game. She reminds me a lot of T-Hawk. So she has, you know, not amazing range. Like her normals are okay though, but she has command throws. So the motion is same as Potemkin Buster if you play Guilty Gear. Have to go back forward, and then she also has these weird hit throws that go kind of far. And let me do them from far. So one of them is anti-air, one of them is a high, and one of them is a low. And then she has these she has this Condor Dive type move, kind of reminds me, which kind of like moves her forward, and you can use the EX version to, you know, like go through projectiles from a decent range. And then she can also do it in the air to bait anti-airs. It is, however, unsafe. I think she can instant overhead with jump beat as well, which is pretty nice. But yeah, standard. Well, not standard, but you know, your grappler. Every game has a grappler. Next character, Choun or Zhao Yun. She is considered one of the strongest characters right now in the game, I think. And she is all about range, and I don't mean projectiles, I mean normals. So her 5B and 2B have like really good range for this type of normal. And well, you know, from far she won't be able to like combo them really, but then she has this standing C, which is amazing. It has great range. It is, however, unsafe if you block it within your 5B range. And I mean, you're heavily minus if you get it blocked at all. So you generally want to use it, you know, from far to, like, you know, whiff punish stuff or whatever. And you can use it to kill fireballs. I just set that up. So fireball. Let's see. Yeah. So it'll destroy fireball if the player is close enough. It'll hit them too. I think most 5Cs beat fireballs. I'm not sure though. So yeah, good range, good anti-airs too. This 2C is amazing, good jump moves, and then instant overhead as well, you know, to end rounds. You have to do it as you're jumping forward though, so you will only use it to end rounds, because if not, you're unsafe. And then her tools are actually pretty interesting, because she has like this lightning move that you can use to side swap for combos, and then you have this other move that you can use at certain spacings to extend your combos. And then her super is also pretty interesting, because it leads straight to the corner, into a crumple, into, you can actually do a combo from it. I mean, so it does a bit less damage. If you just hit it raw, you need to learn the combo to actually do as much damage as other characters. But the fact that it gives you a corner, and then you have the whole screen to back away if you choose to, it's pretty nice. And this special is kind of like safe if you space it right, so just pretty annoying to deal with in general. A strong character. Next is Bacho or Machao, and she is a character that has good range on her 5B, which is actually a really good normal, and she has a fireball, but it doesn't go very far. It's like a weird fireball. However, so fireball, yeah, it doesn't even reach like almost the starting positions. However, you can hold it, and you can also feint it. So a good like utility thing overall, just to have, and you can, like, you know, use it in pressure to make some like weird things happen. The horse move kind of moves her forward a lot, and the EX version will, you know, go through projectiles from a good range. And then she has this quarter circle back move that puts her in the air, and then you can hold it to cover like different ranges, and then you can do a normal as you recover from it. It is, however, unsafe. I mean, if the guy reads it, you're just going to eat a fatal counter. But it does give you kind of like a jump cancel option. So with that and the fireball feint, it does give you like interesting options on offense, as well as, you know, that great 5B to just keep people out in neutral in general. And so these characters are all in the same faction. Then I'll go next faction. So this is So-So or Cao Cao, and she's one of the first, like, I guess, awkward characters, because a few of her normals are like multi-hits, so it's kind of weird at first to time your punishes. Let's say she does something unsafe, you're not sure, you know, For example, this one move does 3 hits, but I think if you space it right or whatever, it's kind of like unsafe. She has a fireball, but you know it doesn't go very far. What defines her more though is her air options. So she has air fireball at 3 different angles, I think, and then a dive kick, which is generally minus unless you space it perfectly, but it makes it really hard to like anti-air her in general. So she's a character that can kind of break that whole don't jump aspect of the game. Then she has a Psycho Crusher type of move, which is very nice because it lets her get knockdowns on normal hit easily, and the EX version goes pretty far to beat projectiles. Her normals, however, are a bit weird. Like her 5C is not your standard 5C that just goes further than other normals, and her reach is like just okay, and it's her 5B that's cancelled, not her 2B, so it feels a bit weird at first. Then you have Kakoton or Shaodun, and she's like instead of most characters so far have been wielding like swords, except previous go was scythe, or I mean spears, and then she has a sword, and her sword has actually pretty good reach, and she's one of those the characters that if they hit you, they do like a ton of damage off like one hit, like oh you whiff finish something with this, boom, like a lot of your life just left. She's also a Rekka character, where your Rekka, you either want to do like 1 to be like kind of minus and close to them, or like 3 to be like far on block. On hit, you want to do them all, right? And then she has this tornado thing that I guess you can probably go over projectiles or something. The EX one is good to escape the corner. Because it's invincibility at first. But yeah, overall, like she can hold her normals. I think they become like unblockable if you charge them to the max. She has a lot of moves that fatal counter in general, like jump C, just boom, just do it. It's not like it has like a predictable arc, so it's like a character that you have to like really think when you play with her. You can't just like do stuff. That's true for most of the game. Then we have Kakoen or Xiao Yuan, which is your typical projectile character, and so every game needs their tiger shots. Her normals are I think kind of lacking in my experience so far, but she really makes up for that with these amazing projectiles. So she has like on the ground a good angle there with that anti-air one as well, but so the standing one is like you can crouch under it, but the other one has a bit more recovery, and then she has air fireball at like 3 different angles. So yeah, very scary to play against in general. At neutral, you just want to like walk in. You will eat a bit of chip as you walk in and maybe get hit once or twice, but once you're in, and she becomes at a disadvantage. She does have tools, however, once you're in. So she has like this kind of teleport where she can, like, if she calls out something, she can do it and it comes out behind you. And the EX version, which is invincible, and is actually pretty good for people who are trying to like react to her throwing out a projectile. React to this, and then she appears behind you and hits you, right? And then she also has a hit grab, which is used in combos. And the EX version of that is a counter. Yeah. But yeah, standard projectile character. Oh yeah, Air EX Fireball is like overhead. I don't know. Then we have Gakushin or Yuejin, and she's like your close range character, and she's also one of the characters that's considered really strong. Side note on that, those characters are like good. It doesn't really matter who you play. You can play whoever you want. But yeah, so she is like your close like brawler character. A lot of people like this kind of character. Just gets in, presses buttons, and she has Rekkas or like moves that have follow up. And they're unsafe, however you don't really want to do them on block, but if you do, you can try and mix people up. There's a high and a low follow-up. Her 2C is like Guard Crush high, so you have to like block it like standing. If not, you get Guard Crush, and then she can combo you low. And she can actually chain her jabs into 5B5C. which is very rare in this game. And I mean, generally you'll stop at B because C is unsafe, but it's like, it makes it easier to hit confirm things at first instead of doing specials that may or may not be unsafe. She has also a DP, but I think just the EX version is involved. Alright, next faction. So first we have Songdan. She's a character that has like decent range and with her normals and a few interesting options. I don't know if you follow BlazBlue. Galileo, the guy who won BlazBlue at EVO a few years ago, he plays her. And so yeah, so good range with her normals, and she has like, you know, good 5C, good 2C. And then where things get interesting, so she has like this special move, which is Fireball A, which is like, you know, sword splash thing. You don't want to do it on block in general. It's just easy for combos. But if you do Fireball B or C, you get a parry stance or whatever. And then if you successfully parry their move, the move comes out. So you can, you know, easily call out people mirrorlessly in pressure. Makes it very scary to fight her if you know you're fighting someone that's quite bold. Let me just show you real quick. So let's say, you know, do this, then you can even like, you know, combo extend the combo from it for a good chunk of damage. She also has this move that moves her forward. If you time it right, you can jump over fireballs with it. And then she has this stamp which comes out pretty fast, but its main use is if you do it in the air, you can bait anti-airs with it because it's the X version is invincible. It is unsafe, however. Next character. Next character will be Kane, which is this fast ninja type character for people who, you know, like, I guess, mix-ups and going fast and taking risks. She just goes in and she runs very fast. So yeah, run, and one of her specials is even a run, right? And you can either do nothing after or do some follow-ups. So she has a low follow-up, high follow-up, and I don't really know like what this follow-up does, but it's there. Maybe it goes over those, like if people are whatever. She has a teleport, which is kind of slow at first, but recovers pretty fast. And then she has this weird projectile thing that kind of goes both ways. It doesn't go like super far, but it's just there, you know, if you want to, someone throws out a button, you want to call it out, because, you know, she has, I guess, less range than a lot of characters, so, you know, you gotta play the patient game once you go in, but, you know, to go in. So next character is Sun Shoko, or Sun Shangshan, whatever. She is this awkward character that, you know, they always have this fabulous awkward zoning projectile character in games, and it happens to be her. And she has like these magic hearts and crinkle effect, whatever. So she has good range in general. Like, oh, it's okay. And her thing though is that, you know, she has these Rekkas, and if you space the first one, it's safe on block, I think, and if you space it right. And then she has these long distance moves, and how they work is you have 3 different ranges for them. So you have a command grab first that whiffs if you're crouching, so it's like kind of like a far and low, and it works at 3 different ranges. So there's a close, medium, and then there's the far one. And then she has this other move which kind of shoots a projectile out at a specific range, and it also has a follow-up. So you can, you know, call out people doing stuff with that. Just, you know, this typical awkward zoning character that you... Next we have Shutai, or Sotai, which is the other ninja character. But she's... I say ninja because she has these shurikens, you know, typical ninja characters have. But how they work is you have a command which makes you jump in a different angle, so it was A, B, and C, and then from the air you can shoot shurikens at 3 different angles, or nails, I guess, I don't know what they are. But in general, on the ground, she has good range with her normals, and an interesting thing is that she can follow up both her 5A and her 5B with a quarter circle back move, which leads to more damage in footsies, which is pretty nice to have. She also has a command throw up close, with a pretty long whiff animation. But yeah, so good options from far, good options from close, and then she has a DP, which lets her combo her 2 ways from far meterlessly, which is kind of rare. And yeah, last character on the roster is Ryofu, also known as Lubu, and she's this long-range, big normals bully, and I feel she's kind of overwhelming against newcomers at first. But she's also a really strong character once that people know how to fight her. If you follow Guilty Gear, old Guilty Gear, Sato, the Johnny player, he mains her. So yeah, first normal, 5C, gigantic range, huge damage on counter hit. It also guard crushes people if they block it low. So if you're close enough, you can combo into 2B after. It is, however, unsafe if you block it from too close, like most 5Cs. Then she has these Rekkas you can do. So you can just do like the first one if you on block, it doesn't really matter. But then if you time, you can just hit confirm on hit. In this game, Rekkas, you just press the next button. You don't have to redo the motion every time. And then she has this move that kind of moves her forward. This. If you want to call out stuff, it knocks down and it lets her like hit confirm from far. The move is unsafe on block, but if they block it crouching, it'll guard crush them. It won't let you do a combo, but yeah, it's still there. And then you have the EX version of it, which goes like super far. Oops, not that far. It leads to this crumple state, which I've talked about a bit. And crumple state, yeah, and it'll blow up projectiles. So this character has very good options in general. Then she has this hit grab, which is good for combos if you're close, and yeah, the EX hit grab is unblockable if the person just stands there. It's kind of slow though. Yeah, I guess that does it for the characters. I'll go over the assists real quick. So Lubu has only 1 assist, which is this one. I'll call her target, whatever. She just puts a target on the guy. She goes wherever they are. And then you can get an extra hit in. If you're close enough, you can like actually get a ground combo. If you're farther, you just get like 1 hit. Well, whatever. She's a good assist. Comes up pretty fast. I'll go first faction. This faction. So this faction has 2 assists. The first one here, she does a fire thing. Basically, it goes wherever the opponent is, pretty far, and it launches them on hit. So it's kind of like this, and so it doesn't go full screen, however, but if it goes a bit before them if they're at a certain range too. Thing is, if you launch them, you can only do like 1 hit after in the combo, or 2 hits. This is the same move. You could probably super. Oh, where's my meter? Yeah, so she's there, and then the other one, this one is actually pretty good. This other assist, she throws out a bunch of random junk, and you can just dash in after that and B+. The thing is that the junk is kind of random, so you don't really know exactly what you're getting, and they don't all come out at the same timing depending on the randomness. So if you're close, you can kind of use it as you call the assist, you do your overhead. It's safe on block. It might even be plus on block, and then you can combo on hit as well. It costs a bar to do, of course, and it has like startup, so the person can just hit you out of it. But I mean, it's a pretty good assist to have. You just need a bit of awareness to know, did you get the right items for what you intend to do. In general, it works. This next faction has 2 different assists. So first, I believe this assist is the trap. So you just what happens is you call it, and then she places a trap somewhere in front of your opponent. Never like on them, and there's no like flash or anything until they walk into it. So if they walk into it, they get like knocked down, and then you can do a combo on them. If they block it, you're kind of plus, but not as much as all the other assists. sometimes people forget about it, and it does stay out for like a good period of time. So it kind of helps neutral. It doesn't stay out forever though, so it's not too dominant. It's a good assist to have. However, the other one is very different assist, I guess. It works kind of like the fire, in the sense that it kind of tracks where you are, and then summons a lightning bolt on you, which staggers you, and then you can, get a combo, whatever. But it doesn't have that much range, even less than the fire. So, not that great of a full screen option, but really good if from close. Like if you're just right outside their max range, you just do it, get a hit, and you get a combo. It's great. Or on block, you just get in. And then last faction, or first faction, depending on the order, they have 2 assists. First one summons a tornado, and the tornado just goes out and stays on the screen for like a good amount of time. Like seriously, and it lets you retake, like let's say you're backed off into the corner for some reason, and you just do that, follow it, and then you're kind of back close. If you do it from far like this, it comes out, and you can like juggle them a bit. And it's plus on block, whatever. It's a good assist. And then you have the chains assist, which I think is probably a bit better. But I don't know, that's my opinion so far. It's really good because it comes out very fast, so you can call it projectiles with it. And you get a good combo on hit, like it keeps them standing. And if I just set them to blocks, you can see, whatever. Like it actually lets you get in pretty easily too. The thing is, they can just jump over it, like jump back or whatever to like avoid chip damage or that kind of thing. And it comes out fast, so you can't chase it as well as the fireball or the tornado. But yeah, it's a good assist. And so I guess that does it in general. I'll just show you guys the fatal combos real quick because I talked about them, and you might be curious as to combos in general kind of look like this. You do 2 hits to get hit. Like you get like this maybe on crouching, jump in. You might be able to set up something a bit better, or like on a punish. Or if you hit with 2A, you might have to spend meter to get something. If you spend meter, you get a knockdown. Pretty simple. Sometimes you can combo into super for like a bit more damage if you want like a good punish on something. But in general, these combos are short. The thing is, the combos get really big when you get one of those big counter hits. Is it on counter hit state? Yes. So the counter hit state kind of staggers them for a while, or the anti-air one just launches them, and it gives your moves all these juggle properties that they don't normally have. So first rule is you get a ground bounce on your overhead. So it's same for each character for this. You get a wall bounce on your forward C, and you get a launch on your down forward B. And what kind of the rules of these combos is you try and juggle them as long as you can, and you can only use one of each of the 3 that I just mentioned. So let me show you, like, in this game there's a challenge mode, which shows you like the basic combos. Let me show you like kind of what the big fatal combos look like. I won't try and do them because I'll probably screw them up, but I've already done them. It's nice that there's a sample play. So yeah, it tends to bring you coast to coast. You want to end it with your big super, and you can spend meter to get special properties. And since the combos last so long, you just build back your meter. Also, you'll notice that moves they lock at like 10% damage now. So you kind of want it to last as long as you can, so that you can milk out that 10% because it won't go like lower than that. And yeah, I guess that pretty much does it for this explanation. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope people play this game because it's pretty fun, and it teaches you a few good things about fighting games in general, because you're kind of forced to play your opponent more than just learn matchups. Matchups are not that hard to learn in this game, I feel, so far. I don't know. We've been playing it for like 2 or 3 weeks now, so I mean there might be some things that are wrong with what I've said, but in general it's probably accurate. Yeah, that's it.